For me, when I was in elementary school, we had to watch this movie called Gifted Hands about Ben Carson. We had to separate like the first set of Siamese twins. So that kind of inspired me. I was like, oh, I want to be a doctor. And that kind of just carried me through middle school and high school. But then once I got to college, I did explore different things, but I knew I always kind of wanted to be in medicine. Um, I definitely could have explored more and thought more clearly about what a doctor exactly was, because I don't think I really realized that until medical school. Um, but yeah, I kind of just like had that goal in mind and just kind of kept through it.
I realized, well, it was before high school, I wanted to be a physical therapist. My mother was a physical therapist. And she worked in Detroit public schools with severely disabled children, babies up to age like 26. And so they went all the way around. And so I would spend the summers with her and just, see my mother on the mat and like doing all the stretching and stuff like that. So I pursued like physical therapy as my first career. I still do, but went back and became a PA.
So it took me a little while. After high school, I was able to join a program it was called Beaumont then, to be a pharmacy tech, and they paid for all my school, and I was getting paid while I was doing my school. And as soon as I became a pharmacy tech is when COVID happened. So that was like a shock to me, but working in that had me realizing like, okay, how do I get involved? Like, what can I do? I saw how the nurses were up there working, and I saw how there were really sick people, and I saw how I was helping with getting these medications prepared, so it made me want to do more. So after that, I realized, hey, I'm a pharmacy tech now, so I just I started doing my prereqs in college, and then after that, the classes or the courses slowly built up, and I was prepared to do the nursing program.
So it was different times in particular parts of your lives that you got to make those decisions. So recently read an article about high school graduates being ready and what ready means, and we forget that there's still struggle and difficulties after high school, where no one's expecting you to be out there and not have any setbacks. So can you share a time that you failed at a task or a project, and how did that setback help you grow professionally? Or it can even be in college too.
Oh yeah, so I will say, I got this great idea to go back to school after having children and being married. The first go around with PA school, I had to decelerate. So I basically I graduated a year later because you needed an 82%, and I got like 81.5, and they're like, we don't round. So I had to come back and take clinical pathology again with the next class. And it was like really the first time I actually failed in my life. And I felt like such a failure, and I was like gonna walk away. But then I saw my children, and I'm like, they're gonna see me walk across the stage. So I went back with the next class, and I did great. And I did wonderful in my clinicals. So I just learned that, yeah, in life you might have this plan, but life happens, and you just gotta pick pieces up and dust yourself off and keep going. Because not everything will go as planned. There'll be roadblocks, you have to work around them, but don't give up, don't just get discouraged. And there are people who are trying to discourage you. I had classmates who were just like, oh, well, you're already at PT, well, I don't know why you're doing this, And I'm like, I'm doing this for my family, and it's one of the best decisions I made, so.
I would say for me, so after medical school, there's something called a match, and that's how you get into residency. Unfortunately, that's not a guarantee for everyone. So last year, I did not match into a program, and after that, I had to reapply this year to get into a different program. So yeah, that's a pretty big that's a big deal if you don't match to a program after completing medical school. So I think, it can be kind of embarrassing, but I think in the end of the day, rejection can be protection, or it can be redirection, and you have to, I think, just roll with the punches. Sometimes things aren't always gonna end up the way you want them to be, but I think if you're able to be resilient, you're able to, just keep going and try to find a bigger purpose in what you're doing, you can succeed. But I think sometimes people look at doctors, they look at nurses, they just look at people who might be in these professional fields and think that they never failed, they never have made many mistakes, but people make mistakes. Even in medical school, I had classmates who had to redo a year, so I mean, it's okay to make mistakes. Don't rush through things.
Can you repeat that phrase you said? Protection and redirection? That's great.
Rejection is redirection, or rejection is protection. Either I've heard both.
Oh, I love that. I love that.
For me, just starting nursing school was a journey. I had to relearn how to study. I had to teach myself how to study because to get into nursing school, there was AP. And anatomy and physiology was something it was just a crazy class. So that first time I took the course, I had to end up withdrawing because I just knew like, I'm not ready for this and I know I can do better. So I had to retake the class. And of course I was down on myself about it, but I always told myself like, I can do this and I'm just gonna teach myself the material in a way that I understand, whether that's a YouTube video or whatever it is. And even in nursing school, I failed a class it was very close, but in nursing school, at my school, to be exact, you have to get a B or higher for it to even count. And I just did not pass that class, but I had to redo it and it ended up pushing back my end date for the program. Instead of me graduating in August of 2025, I graduated this past year, but I still kept on and I retook that class and I did very well. But I told myself I never forgot. I just have to sometimes redirect myself and I have to change the way I study, and that's okay.